welcome to League of Vloggers. This is Season 4, Episode 1. We are here, we are back. It's been a really insane off-season.
Yeah,
like
lots of movement.
Most insane off-season. Like,
is this not normal?
So, this much movement happened one other time.
Yeah.
And it's when franchising kicked off.
Okay.
And so last season we saw some like decent movement, but like
this was
you look at these,
like,
no single roster stayed completely the same, and the roster that had the least movement was Team Liquid, who have won the last 4 splits.
I don't know why they would have done it. I really don't know why they would have done it.
So not only that, like there are 3 brand new teams on the split.
Yeah, well, 2 like just took on different monikers, but there is one brand new team. That being Evil Geniuses, Echo Fox getting kicked the fuck out after there's some racist shit going down.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so the teams that kind of like changed monikers, like they changed monikers because they like these new organizations bought a controlling stake in the company.
Right.
So it's like they basically the same company but like new ownership.
And both of the new monikers, Dignitas and Immortals, actually have had teams in the LCS previously. So for a long time, League fans, especially Dig, it'll be a longer time. But if you've been watching LCS for 3 years or so, you know these teams.
I know of Dig, but I don't know them like you know them.
Right, and like Immortals, they went to Worlds. Like, people know these teams.
Yo.
So, let's go ahead and kick it off. We're going to
introduce us.
Oh yeah.
Oh shit.
We didn't even do that. We're out of practice.
It's
going.
been a
do
long time. All right, so tonight our host, as always, we got Kurtis James on the far side.
Hey.
We got Heather, aka Stormy, in the middle, and myself, I am Viking Redbeard, aka Chase. I think I fucked that up, but whatever. We are here. We're drinking beer. Get used to it.
Yeah.
Except for the fact that we might change our name to League of Hard Tiltzers.
So we can do seltzers.
So like hard seltzers have blown up in this off season.
Yeah, if there's a seltzer company out there who wants to sponsor us, drop us a line, and we will seltzer it up.
Yep.
But let's go ahead and kick it off. It is the preseason. Games start tomorrow. In fact, I know you're going to be hanging out here. We're kicking it off, like, you know.
Oh, like we haven't like finalized.
Yeah,
plans.
I know. I hadn't said anything. I've got like you and a couple other people, but
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
we're gonna hang out. We're gonna treat it like it's MLB opening day. Let's just sit down, watch matches, and have a good time.
Is that a video game?
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Opening
Sports
day
ball.
2020.
Yeah.
Cool.
But we're gonna do our preseason rankings. Now, the idea here being, it's really hard to guess how these teams are gonna do because, like we said, there's already so much turnover going on in these teams. But I've broken it down into. We all put our rankings together. I made an aggregate set of rankings and I broke it down into 3 groups. I was hoping it would break down to like 3-3-4. I broke down into 4-4-2. So let's start at the top. In our top set, we have Team Liquid number 1, Cloud9 aggregate number 2, TSM number 3, and CLG number 4. Now, obviously, we're going to have variation within ourselves.
We did.
But I think we all had at least 3 of those teams in our actual top 4. I think we all did have Team Liquid number 1, correct?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, the only change they made is they cut loose Xsmithy, but they brought in Broxa coming over from Fnatic.
I like Roxa, but he's not Xsmithy.
I think it's an insane pickup for them. Fnatic has gone way further in Worlds than Team Liquid has ever.
Yeah,
So
that is factual.
I also feel
They
bad
made
for
it
some
to
of
the
these
finals 2 years ago,
Like,
and Team Liquid only made it out of groups this year. No,
No,
did
they- I don't think they didn't even make it out of
They
groups.
still never made it out of
They
groups.
didn't make it out of
Shit.
groups.
Okay.
I was so salty about it.
Team Liquid is just going to continue to buy players from other regions until until they can make them.
I mean, personally, I'm glad they stopped buying shit off of Cloud9. Took Impact, took Jensen. I was like, who the fuck you taking next? And I thought it would be Svenskeren, and honestly, at the end of the season, I'm like, they're gonna fucking buy him. He did leave Cloud9, but still. But
Right.
yeah, I think this team.
Team Liquid can build a super team in NA, but I think that they're still gonna struggle to see any traction worldwide.
And that's possible. I mean, I get what they were going for with this pickup. Broxa's a more aggressive jungler than Xsmithy. It's just going to be a question of if... I mean, fucking Jake has been playing forever. Xsmithy has been to Worlds every fucking year, I think, that he's played. That goes back to Team Vulcan in Season 3, I think. Season 3, Season 2, some shit. I think, no, that was Season 3 for sure. And that was with people on that team you've never heard of. Zuna. Like, you don't know who that is. Nobody does, because he was garbage. But Xmithy was good enough to take that team to Worlds. They were, like, number 2 in the region over TSM.
I'm real sad about it. I don't even like thinking about it.
Yeah. Like, so I'm sad that Xmithy's gone from that team, because he has a lot of knowledge. He's a great jungler. But if Broxo works out, if that aggression makes this team better early, that could be ridiculous. Like, Core, JJ, and Doublelift already just win their lane on their own. Can you imagine if we're seeing a Fed Jensen every game too? Like at 10 minutes, hey, you're winning mid and bottom. Oh, by the way, Impact never loses lane. So they're going to win all their games in like 30 minutes. If that works out. Yeah. There's going to be a little bit of...
I'm still excited to watch it, obviously. But...
Yeah. Oh, Mandatory Cloud was also one of the players on the team. Zuna, Mandatory Cloud, Benny, and Bloodwater. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm old too. But yeah, like, this team could be incredibly good. Now, quick note though, week 1, we're not going to get to see Broxa. Visa issues. That means Pobelter starting the jungle on week 1 for TL.
Where did you find that information?
It's been talked about a lot.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's a real feels bad for them, because their week 1 matchups are Cloud9 and TSM. Yeah. Like, they're 2 biggest competitors for that number 1 spot, and they're not going to have their star jungler. And they're pulling out Pobelter from their academy team, who has historically played mid to play jungle. So, like, baffled, confused, mildly erect. I don't know.
Quick odds. Real bad for Pobelter in this scenario.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at least he's getting to play, and if he looks really good, maybe some other team picks him up as their jungler. Yeah. Quick thing though, what are the odds that at the end of the season they're tied with Cloud9 or TSM, and it's a split 1-1 series because of week 1?
God, I would hate that. I would hate that so much.
That would be really amusing.
That'd feel real bad as TL.
Real bad. Yeah.
You're like, oh, we're tied for number 2 spot to like get a bye or some shit.
I'm sorry for this in advance, but I hope Team Liquid just kind of curb stomp C9 for no reason at all, and Pobelter he doesn't lose the lane.
You shut up and you die.
He just stays there quietly, and he's like, I didn't help.
Yeah, well, let's move into the number 2 aggregate, was Cloud9. I actually did have them ranked as my number 2
I don't see why you did it. I mean, I know that you like C9.
Well, no, so I'll give you why. Who did you had Cloud9 as your number 2 as well, right?
I did, yes.
Okay, and so the thing is, Cloud9, here's the other giant move of the offseason. Sneaky was benched.
Yeah.
He's choosing to not be a player right now. He's going to just be a streamer and do that stuff. I think this is going to very much resemble when Doublelift retired for a year. He said he just didn't want to play for a year. And I think Sneaky's competitive enough and good enough that either after a split or a season, he's going to want back in.
Yeah.
And who that's with, I don't know. It could be Cloud9 even if they don't do well this year or this split. I don't know. I think we'll see Sneaky again. I hope we do, because he's a very good player.
I like Sneaky.
And so there were some other things at play with Sneaky. So Cloud9 made Sneaky a part owner of Cloud9. He's continuing to stream under the Cloud9 banner.
His streaming is not.
Oh, his streaming is not.
Nope, he's going to be like an advisor with like the esports stuff and a part owner, and that's the only stuff he's doing under Cloud9. Everything else he's doing independently.
Interesting. Okay, never mind. I retract.
There was misinformation at first when it was announced.
He was in cosplay the other night.
Is he not? Are there nights he spends not in cosplay?
Yeah.
So I figure like if Sneaky were to have left or gone
now,
somewhere else, like he would have forfeited his options of potentially being an owner of Cloud9.
Right. Yeah. He wouldn't be able
because
to
there's
own
conflict
stock
of interest
and go elsewhere.
there.
Yeah.
So,
he made a smart move on that.
So I mean, yeah, him getting some stock in the company and taking a year off to kind of recenter himself. Like I think this is a good move for him. Like it sucks that we're not going to get to see him, but he did look kind of off this last season.
Yeah.
Like I last split maybe.
It's funny because like as much as they didn't look good in lane, him and Zazel, like his stats were still really good, because you remember him like in a year awards I like went through, I'm like, all his stats were fucking amazing.
Oh yeah, it wasn't that he wasn't good or his stats weren't good. It's just like he wasn't good enough to beat Doublelift. He wasn't good enough to
who
like
is?
Yeah.
So I mean, in his stead though, and the reason he was benched is Cloud9 got Sven from TSM, which I think is interesting. And I think one that's definitely a big pickup for them, I think would have just been a flat improvement. And I think Zazel's very good, but they got Vulcan. Vulcan looked really good in his rookie season, and he was a hot commodity this offseason. Cloud9 ended up with him.
Where did Vulcan come from? I thought he
Clutch.
played... Okay, it was Clutch.
Yeah, he was playing with Cody-san.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
It was Cody-san and Vulcan, and like Cody-san's obviously a very good AD carry, but so is
You're
Sven.
really a
Like
good AD
Sven
carry
has
to
not
get
looked
him
good
to
for 2 years on TSM, but
Yeah.
TSM has a way of making players look bad over their past like 4 years.
I'm real worried about that because
3
I don't.
years.
Again, last season was my first full season, and that was my first time seeing Sven in the NA scene. I'm real worried because I've read things that Sven's not very happy here. He wanted to go back with Mithy.
That was his first year at TSM. Yeah,
And,
he wanted to leave
I
TSM and go home.
I'm not sure it's going to be the greatest pickup.
So I think
I'm
at
worried
this
about
point
it.
though, he wouldn't have signed with Cloud9 if he still wanted to go back to Europe. And
Yeah.
he's like done some interviews already and just said like he's happy now. He's glad to be on TSM. I think him with Vulcan's going to be interesting because even when he was playing on TSM, their bot lane was never dominant.
Yeah.
But we've seen the way Vulcan plays. He's an aggressive laner.
Yeah.
And if Sven and Vulcan
Sven's
can be
aggressive
like
too, in my
a
opinion.
focus of that team, they'll be really good. I mean, they still have Licorice in the top, who's one of the best,
One
if
of the
not the
best
best, top laner. I mean, I'd say he's one of the best. You're going to put him right there with Impact, most likely. But yeah, he's one of the best top laners in the region. They did also lose Sven Skaren, but it's been very obvious for at least the last year, if not longer, that Cloud9 wanted Blabber to become the starter at some point, and that's what's going on now. Because there's been so many other players off their academy and elsewhere that they have sold to other teams. I mean, hell, they got rid of contracts pretty quick, and they sold Wiggly out of their academy and things like that. They've kept Blabber. I mean, just straight up jungle-wise, they've kept Blabber for a long time, and you know there were teams who wanted this kid. And so it was very obvious. I think he's probably going to have a bit of a rocky start, but I think he's going to get that, veteran time in. Like, he's not going to become a veteran fast, but he's going to be on main stage finally for an extended period, and I think he'll get really, really good. I thought it was interesting. I think it was Josh Leesman, that I was listening to a podcast thing he has now, and he compared it, what they're doing with Blabber. He's like, and I think this might be what's going on, and he hopes it is, and I think it's cool too. Compared it to the Golden State Warriors with what they did to NBA basketball. Is they did the math, and they're like, well, if you're just hucking up threes, and you are hitting them enough, there's no reason to shoot 2-pointers. And so, Blabber invading at like 4 minutes or level 3 or whatever, yeah, you're gonna get fucked up sometimes. But if you kill it, you win that game. It's like over, especially in the current jungle meta where there's no catch-up XP and all that anymore. So he's like, maybe early jungle invades is the 3-pointer, and this kid's really good at 3-pointers. So I think it'll be interesting, but I think overall, I don't think it's a worse team than it was last year, because Sneaky and Zazel was a really weak early lane, and if Sven and Vulcan work, maybe the team's better. I don't know for sure.
I don't know yet. That's an entire gray area for me that I'm unsure about. But we'll see. You two have C9 second.
Who do you have? Yeah, you have CLG, don't you?
CLG.
So, CLG ended up as number 4 in our setup, so I think we all have TSM as 3rd then, right?
Yep.
So, TSM...
no, I have...
Oh, you have them even lower, don't you?
I have...
You have them 4.
TL, CLG, C9, then
Okay,
TSM.
yeah. So, let's hit number 3 then. The aggregate number 3, TSM. Chase, why do you got TSM at number 3?
I mean, they've always been a top 3 team historically.
True. Well, except those 2 splits, they were awful.
I don't think that their team is so bad. Like, they've got Dardoch. Dardoch has been very hot when he's on it. He's been very not when he's not on it. So we'll see how Josh is playing this split.
And you've been a fan of Dardoch's for a long time, since back on Echo Fox.
Oh yeah, I love me some Dardoch. I hope he does well there. Like, I like him as a player. I like his play style. Everyone else on the team, like, I mean, Kobe.
Is it Kobe or Kabe?
Kabe.
Okay. He's an unknown entity to me. Like, where did he come from?
Came from Europe, and he was quite good there.
Okay.
Like,
he went to Worlds. He was in Worlds.
Yeah, Kabe isn't like when Sven came over to TSM, where he was best in the West bot laner. He wasn't considered that, but he's considered like a top 4 EU, and EU got really... It's funny, because they spent years as like, all EU makes are good mid laners, and then over the past like couple years, it's like, Also, they have really good marksmen. And so Kabe is one of those really good bot laners, and he, came over now.
They're so good over there, they switch for both teams.
Yeah. Their mid laners are so good, they also play bot.
Biofrost, he was he on TSM prior to being on CLG last year?
Biofrost was not or farther back, yes.
Yeah, like, so he's coming back home, kind of.
Yeah, absolutely.
I didn't know that.
He used to lane with Double Lift back in the day.
That's right, yep. Back when Double Lift was on TSM?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So I think they've got a pretty solid lineup, like how everything else has changed, not only on the rosters, but League itself. League is like a completely different game right now.
Yeah.
If they can...
If
they can be as good as they have been historically, I think that they've got a solid number 3 spot.
Yeah, and I think a lot what I was saying with like Blabber being aggressive, Dardoch's a very aggressive jungler. He has generally shown himself to be much more controlled than Blabber has, and therefore better. But also he does have that kind of ticking time bomb nature to him. But it's been enough years now, and he spent all of last year not starting, or most of last year not starting, because Meteos was playing so well. So maybe that time, maybe the new environment, maybe that'll work him out. But I guarantee the front split, or the front half of the split for TSM will probably be really good. Because he always does really well for like 3 weeks before shit starts falling apart.
So historically speaking, TSM has kind of neutered their junglers, right?
Yeah.
I'm hoping that they don't do that with Dardoch, because if they do, I think he's going to play like shit.
He will rage before he plays neutered. Honestly, even
And
if
then
they
he'll get
force, if they're like, oh, we're picking Sejuani for you in pick ban, and I don't think he will, just because like that's not the meta right now in the jungle, or at least we don't think it is heading into the season. Even if they were picking Sejuani, he's just gonna be like, fine, I'm gonna fucking solo invade. Like, I think he will go toxic before he goes like, fine, I'm gonna hang back and ward.
Yeah, I hope that's actually the case. Like,
I'm okay with that too. Yeah.
Like, Dardoch's playstyle does not really conform to how TSM has played the last couple of splits, so it'll be interesting to see how he does. I'm hoping that he comes out with that same demeanor that he's had in the past, being very aggressive. I don't know. I think they could do well. If they weren't like a number 1, 2, 3 team, I might actually cheer for them. I always like the mid to bottom tier teams. Yeah. So
you like someone that forces you to buy merch for someone else the next year.
Yeah.
I'm not even on the TSM train at all this year.
Yeah.
Like, I put them in my top 4 as 4 just because I think that's where they're kind of landish.
Well,
But
let's talk about who
team.
you have as number 2, and it kept them actually in our aggregate just 1 point behind TSM, which is why I did it as a block of 4. You've got CLG at number 2.
I do, but that's mostly, like, I'm not gonna lie, it's not, and I won't say mostly, I just like that team. I'm really coming into the CLG. I like them as a group. I love fucking Wiggly. I like Stixay. I love Smoothie. Crown, I'm hit or miss on. Like,
you liked him a lot last year. You were following
I
Optic.
was fine with Crown until his abysmal Ari performance. And you fuck with my Ari, you just lose my respect. But I mean, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. And Ruin's always played pretty stellar, in my opinion. Like, he's consistently just leave me alone. I'll be okay.
Yeah, he came in last split, and he was very like, I'll get the kill, but I'm also going to die.
Yes, we're gonna trade.
Like, Wiggly, I feel, has been improving. And I think the Crown pickup over Power of Evil, I'm pretty okay with that, because
same.
I feel there's a lot of variation on PoE's performance, whereas I think Crown can be more consistent.
Yeah.
And then there's a lot of talk so there's the swap of supports, Smoothie for Biofrost, between TSM and CLG. And CLG was saying they were, like, some people were like, oh, I think that's a slight downgrade, whatever. Personally, from Smoothie's time on Cloud9, I think he's actually probably a better support than Bio. But CLG was actually all in on Smoothie, and what they said their team lacked was a good voice for shot calling early game.
I hope that's Smoothie. I really do.
And that's absolutely Smoothie. In fact, Smoothie has been criticized at times for filling up comms to the point where nobody else can talk.
Oh, well, that's not a good thing.
He's a lot like Hai was back in the day, where he will give you all the information. Like, he sees everything that's happening. He's giving you all the cooldown timers. He's calling out all the wards. He knows where everybody is on the map. He will give you all that information. And so I think on a quiet team, that's the way to go. And CLG also said, like, late game, they also want a strong voice who, like, if Wiggly makes a call and it's the wrong fucking call, someone to say no.
Yeah.
Because previously it was like Wiggly made a call and they all just did it, and we saw them throw some later
Yes.
games off of wrong calls. So I agree. I like what CLG's saying. Honestly, I had originally put them lower just because, I don't know, I wasn't convinced.
Mm-hmm.
But then I felt like I underrated them last split. And when I heard that talk about Smoothie, I'm like, you know what? That does sound like something that could help this team. And I bumped them up to 4. I bumped them up to 5 only, but I think I'm still possibly underrating them there. So, like, I can see why you would argue for them at 2.
So I'm watching like a couple of streamers lately, and usually it's the ADC, it's like Double Lift or Sneaky. But I'll watch like Core JJ, and I want to watch more Smoothie. He just doesn't stream as much. But Core JJ is freaking insane with timers. He sees a flash, he will type that out. He sees another flash, he types that one out, copies paste the first one and that one. He sees another flash, he's got all 3 going like at the same time, and he is watching it like a hawk. Wow. And it really helps the team visualize when the timers are going to be up again.
That's a good support.
And if Smoothie can do that as well, I love him.
CLG landed like around 4th last split, right?
Yes, they ended up in 4th. They made a push for top 2 actually for a long time.
I think I might have been underrating them at 4, honestly. Like, I mean, TSM could very easily fall to be a 4. Cloud9, depending on how they play, like, they could easily fall down to a 3. Like, I can 100% see where she's coming from with her 2.
Agreed.
Because, like, looking at the numbers here, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. Like, I could see them being a number 2 team.
They could also be 10th, but, we'll see.
I would be very surprised if that were the case.
And a quick mention
Not
from
with
the
100
chat,
Thieves here.
also, another important pickup for CLG is they brought in Song as their coach, and I think that's really good, because Song's a fantastic coach.
Is he?
Oh, yeah.
Good to know.
So I think that'll work out well for them. All right,
I'm so excited.
Let's move on from that top 4 to our next clump.
Yes.
We have Evil Geniuses as our aggregate number 5.
I do, sure.
I have them at 4, and I said just a moment ago, I'm possibly still overrating them. Chase, where do you have them?
I've got them at 6, but I still feel like that's slightly underrated.
And
like, the problem is I can't rate everyone top 5, even though I want to. Like, this is a top 5 team. This is a top 5 team. Well, you've listed all 10 teams as top 5. Because they're all fucking good, baby!
Well, and I think outside of that 4 that we just listed, it becomes very messy here in the middle. You have Evil Geniuses at 7, correct, Heather?
No. Yes.
Yes. And so I think the way I felt about this team is there is so much room for variation. They could end up being a top 3 team. They could end up being a bottom 2 team. Because who they've got is Kumo, who we saw play a couple games for Cloud9 last split.
He's okay.
But they were also focusing to help his lane, and he looked pretty good. Svenskeren, reigning MVP, very good jungler coming over. Jizuke coming over from EU. He had a bad split last split, but he was also sick. He had health issues. And that's pretty cleared up now. Apparently, off-season, he lost some weight. He got better. He's excited. Got Bang over from 100 Thieves, and they also picked up another Cloud9 player in Zazel. And Irene, who was a pretty good coach, I believe it was for Echo Fox last year. So what do you guys think? Or, I'm sorry, Anero was the Echo Fox coach. Irene coached somewhere. I can't remember at the moment. It might have been FlyQuest.
I don't remember.
But, I mean, you got Kumo, Svenskeren, Jizuke, Bang, Zazel. All names you recognize besides maybe Kumo. Like, these are all players you see that name and you're like, yeah, I know them. They're good.
I know all of them except for Jizuke.
Well, and he was a very good European mid. Okay. So, very aggressive. He's a flashy player. Aggressive. Oh, yeah. He loves some Echo mid.
Him.
He loves Echo mid. Yeah. So, what do you guys think of this roster? Because I think it could go really well or go up in smoke.
I think it's the smoke.
I don't think it's up in smoke. I think I'm leaning towards like there being like top 5. I would say 5. I rank them at 6, but I would say there's a pretty good chance of them being closer to like that 4 or 5 spot.
I think it's the bot lane that does it for me. I don't think it's a good combination, but that's just because I don't think Bang works well with it.
Well, and I saw
to be
some
fair,
talk about...
Bang was with Afro. Afro's fucking
that is
garbage.
True.
Like
Zazel was not Afro.
I'll hold on.
You can talk about Afro when we get to his team. But so I did say I did hear some talk like that people were thinking part of the reason Bang struggled with Afro is because Afro's not an aggressive laner anymore. He's not good in lane. And that was a lot of the issues levied against Zeyzal as well, that he's really good in team fights and map play, but his laning phase isn't good, so that's why him and Sneaky were terrible in lane.
But I think Sneaky played a little bit more passively as well. So, like,
Right.
when you have two passive personalities on a team, like, your bot lane is going to be a little bit more passive. Like, they always did well in the end. Like we said earlier, their stats were always good.
Yeah.
But, like, since we know Bang can be a little bit more, like, aggressive early, maybe Zeyzal will fall in line, pick up some good habits. Like, I think that Sneaky's play style, Zeyzal's never really played on the main stage with anyone other than Smoothie. So yeah, that's what I meant. Sneaky. So it's possible that, like, he can adapt and he can become a little bit more aggressive if needed. So yes, I agree with the chat wild card. I think that they could be pretty darn good. I'm really hoping they look good. Like, Evil Geniuses and Dig are two teams that I really want to follow this year. Like, I kind of want to see how they play before I make my choice. I just mostly want to see how Afro does. But, I think EG looks good.
Well, if we drop to our number 6 in the rankings, we have Immortals as our aggregate. Personally, I put them way lower than you guys. I have them all the way down at 8th, so tell me why I'm wrong, guys.
I got them at 7th.
5. I've got them as my, dark horse? That's my dark horse is Immortals. That's what I'm picking.
All right, so why are they 5 for you, Heather?
Because I want them to be. Because I don't see them as... Because I don't know these people. The only two I know are Xmithy and Hakuho, and Hakuho isn't the top tier.
Well, let's do a rundown. Soaz, famous top laner from Fnatic.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've only heard of the name. Like, I don't know much of them.
He was Fnatic forever.
Yeah.
And has been finally superseded by Blippo.
Okay.
So he's coming over as a massive veteran. Smithy, another massive veteran, who's been on very successful teams. Ica is an import from Oceania, I believe. I believe is an OS import. Alltech and Hakuho we also know, being on different teams in NA, because Hakuho...
Alltech was on Echo Fox at one point.
I don't know him.
With Alltech and Adrian.
Oh, yeah, Hakuho was a starter last year.
No, I know Hakuho.
But, Alltech, I think the year before he was still a starter.
He was a bot lane duo on Fox with Adrian.
So, when Echo Fox cut the two players, like, the day before the deadline, or, like, within, 24 hours of a deadline, it was him and Phoenix.
I think I remember you talking about Phoenix for this, but not
Alltech's the other player that happened to. It happened to two.
That sucks.
So Alltech
the difference between is that Alltech is a citizen, so he's not an import slot, whereas Phoenix was like a week away from getting his like residency.
Yeah,
gotcha.
But yeah, Alltech's a NA native, and so he's actually spent the past year grinding it out. He went on like a travel visa to Korea for like a month. And he had like 1,000 LP, Grandmaster, whatever. So dude has been crushing it, like working hard to get back to the LCS, and so I'm glad to see him back, and I hope he does well.
Yeah, I really just kind of want them. I don't see them being super top tier, but I'm hoping Xmithy shows that he's able to carry an entire team to at least the mid range. I don't want them to be last.
I think they're another team with lots of variance, because you see like Ica, who's new, Alltech and Hakuo, like we've seen them play, but they've never hit like high highs. But then you have two veterans, and so as an Xmithy on the top end, I mean, it doesn't seem too different than Impact and Xmithy. It was like, hey, two top end guys who aren't huge, like, requirement of gold, and they're able to say, you know what, we're going to help the rest of you young guys succeed. And hopefully that's the case here. But, it could also be that, hey, none of these players are good enough to hack it anymore.
It's very possible.
I think Xmithy's probably the best player on that team, unless, like, Ica or Alltech show the fuck up this split. And we've seen Hakuho do well, too, but he's also a little inconsistent. But if things turn out right, like, it's just like Evil Geniuses, where this could go great or it could burn.
I'm excited for them.
I think that they're stacked on the mid and top part of the map, and like their bottom is like very, very lacking. Like, not that I'm going to say anything bad about Alltech or Hakuo, but I don't think they're as good as almost
any other bot lane.
Any of the other bot lanes that I'm looking at right now.
We haven't gotten to the one that I know is worse. We'll get there after a bit.
Okay.
Well, I'm not saying that this is not possible. I'm just like,
They're listed right above them on our sheet.
yeah.
Well,
I think I'm wearing their hat.
It's because we don't even
You are.
know. Like, we have no idea how that bot lane's
For
gonna
audio
go.
listeners, that's going to be Golden Guardians. We're going to be there in a bit. But, I mean, I think Immortals could be good.
They could be. I have no idea where they're gonna land.
Is that
Yeah.
their freaking logo? It's all
Yes.
weird. I don't like it.
It's like a Spartan helmet thing. All right, well, let's move on. Actually, the reason this was another group of 4 is we have 2 teams who tied here for our 5-6 slot. Or I'm sorry, our 7-8 slot. There we go. Sorry about that. Dignitas and 100 Thieves. Personally, I have them right next to each other. I have Dignitas as my 6 slot. I'm sorry, 100 Thieves is my 6. Dignitas is my 7. Where do you guys have them?
Put Dig at 5,
Wow.
And 100?
10.
Wow.
Woo!
We're different here.
And you have Dig at 10.
I have Dig at 10 and 100 Thieves at 6.
All right, so let's go ahead and because I know there's a rant when we get to it. So let's start with 100 Thieves.
Fucking 100 Thieves sucks so much goddamn dick.
No! They have
see,
Cody's son now,
That's
and they
that's
have
the
Someday
shorter
back.
rant.
Yeah.
And I disagree with him.
Well, so here we go. Yeah, 100 Thieves.
yeah.
Someday back in the starting lineup because they no longer have to have Ryu in the mid because that for whatever reason that the staff last year thought, hey, Ryu has to start more than Someday does, and so they had to bench their other import because they had Bang starting. So yeah, we have Someday. They brought back Meteos. They also brought back Cody's son. They have a new mid laner in Ryoma, who's supposed to be a pretty good talent.
I don't know about
He's
him.
new.
I'm happy.
And Stunt, who we've seen before, and he's been okay. And Zix is their coach now, coming over from TSM after coming over from CLG the year before
was
that.
that supposed to be Zix right there?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought it was 2 different fucking people.
Sorry.
No, it's cool. I was wondering.
But yeah, TSM previously had Zix, and before that he was at CLG for a long time. But yeah, so Someday, Meteos, Ryoma, Cody's-san, and Stunt, and personally, something I'm going to talk about a bit later, their GM, Papa Smithy, previously a LCK caster for years. That was like the first pickup they made before the season was over.
Wow.
And
I'm so
he's
excited.
the architect of this team. All the players and the coach, like the staff that they have around these, Papa Smithy set that up. So what do you guys think of what we have here, though, hitting the Rift?
So if I cover up the logo that I'm looking
That's
at,
what.
I
literally what I was gonna
I
say.
see a really solid team, 100%.
Fucking-
Like, I look at the logo and then I'm like, oh, 100 Thieves has fucked over 2 of the players on this team historically with Meteos and Cody's-san. And I really have I dislike how Nate Shot has been running things. Hopefully Papa Smithy comes in and like does I don't know, I would say a 360 because that's better than a 180.
But then you end up where you start.
Exactly. So we're gonna hopefully pull it a 180 and like put him in the right direction.
Unless you say
About
where they
240.
started back when they got to the finals, their very first split.
Maybe.
And guess who was on that team? Cody's son and Meteos, along with Someday.
Yeah.
I don't really know much about
I
this
like
stuff,
the
but-
players. I just hate what they have done, like as a brand to their players. And
Yeah,
like
the last 3 splits, they have destroyed. They should have destroyed their entire fan loyalty, but somehow didn't. Because people think the merch is dope.
so the players
That's
on
my
this
issue.
team, I think that they could
Me too.
easily be a lot better than top 10. But I'm hoping that Papa Smithy has a lot of pull in here, and he just tells people to like, hey, no, go fuck yourself. Like,
Yeah.
oh, we're gonna have Afro play again? Yeah, no, we're not gonna do that shit.
And I mean, to me, it seems like one, because he's the first thing they did. They got him before they even decided what the roster was going to be. And then 2, like you said, and they got rid of Aframu, who it seemed he was the one calling the shots before that. It seemed like it. Who knows if it's true. Got rid of Prolly as the coach, got rid of Aframu as the support. I'm guessing Bang probably moved on his own. I don't know, but he brought back Cody's-san and Meteos, put Someday back in the lamp, and got Ryoma is the one from Oceania. I'm sorry. So quick correction. I think Aika is from the TCL, Turkish. I know Ryoma.
Whiskey.
Yeah, I know Ryoma is from OCE because Papa Smithy is from OCE originally. He casted LCK, but he's from OCE. He's a Pacific Islander. If you look at him, it's pretty obvious. But yes, so Ryoma's a talent that he was familiar with, and talking to other people in that region and some of the casters, a lot of them said no. Even though Ryoma wasn't at Worlds, he is the best mid laner in Oceania. So,
but best mid laner in Oceania doesn't mean much to
Right.
best mid laner in NA.
Right? No, I'm not saying he's gonna. I mean, every team's trying to recreate Bjergsen. He came over from EU and dominated everything. Probably not gonna happen. But if he's still like a top half mid laner, well, guess what? He's working with a top half jungler, probably a top 3 jungler, maybe less depending on some of how Blabber and Dardoch do. Top 3 bot laner most likely, and Cody Sun is still slower. But we also know someday to be a top half top laner. Like if your whole team's top half, you're in a pretty good spot to start with.
I'm very excited for them. The only thing I don't like is their logo and their name. But the
Yeah,
players
I hate the
themselves,
name and
I'm
logo
excited
still.
for, and I think that.
Yeah.
I may even be underestimating them, but we'll see. I mean, they're not Licorice and frickin' Double Lift and Bjergsen up in here running the team.
Well,
so.
let's go from Chase's last place team to your last place team, Dignitas.
Well,
Why don't you believe in Dignitas?
I like the Dig logo. Well, I like the color. I love it.
I missed the old Dig logo.
Yeah, with the little
little
alien.
fireball head alien thing. Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't think the entire team stacks up. I mean, Grig we didn't see much of, and what we did see was lackluster, and he's had wrist issues or hand issues, and I mean that's all going to factor in. Huni is so hit or miss that it's not
he was more
like a scale
hit
that goes
than
like
miss
this.
the tail end of
That's
last
fair.
year.
Right.
That is fair.
He came
If
online
he
at
comes
the end.
in with that fire, I think he's gonna play really well. If he comes in and he's really lackluster, then
in some ways, literally that fire because they let him play a lot of Rumble, which seems like a mistake by the other teams.
Yeah.
But yeah, you have Huni, Grig, Froggen, Johnson, he's been a solo queue bot lane beast in NA. So he's a rookie here, and there's a lot of hype behind this kid. And then Afromoo.
fucking Afro.
And that's why he's 10. That's why they're 10.
And you have them 10th because of Afromoo. Oddly, the man on the table who hates Afromoo the most put them the highest at 5th place. Chase, what's going on here? Did your love for Huni override all things Afro?
Hootie and Froggen, and
Oh, you do love Froggen too.
And I like poor Grig in his hand. Like hopefully he's healed. He's back and like playing. Like I don't think him not playing was due to his hand. For the last split, it was just like he got hurt and he got benched, and then it was just like who we replaced him with is playing well. Do we really want to fuck up the synergy we've got going? So it's just like, sorry, dude. Like we know you're good, but we've already got this thing going.
Yeah.
So I think it was just kind of like a random no, that's not the. My brain is not functioning.
It's alright. I mean, for me, I'm really happy that they got Grig. I said a lot last year. I thought Lyra was an issue on the team. I also didn't think Piglet was a good person to have in AD carry. It sucks they didn't hold on to Damonte and Vulcan, because honestly, I think if you had Huni, Grig, Damonte, Vulcan, Johnson, I'd have them maybe top 5. Like,
I'm
easily
just
top 5,
really
actually.
hoping that Afromoo gets his ass kicked by Dignitas. Like, be like, dude, you are not the big man on this team. We could give 2 fucks about you.
Right.
So you either play well or we're gonna ship you out. Like that's how I'm hoping it's going, because like he was the face of 100 Thieves.
Yeah.
Like he could do no wrong on 100 Thieves.
He was
even
the
though,
face of CLG before that.
Even though, he is definitely not going to be the face of
No,
Dig.
it's going to be Huni and Froggen.
100%.
It might end up being Johnson. If Johnson's as good as he's supposed to be, and that's another thing.
big if.
I want Afro to do well because I don't want Johnson to play poorly because of his support. Because if this kid can be the next sneaky Cody Sun double lift, the next great NA bot laner, I don't want that getting fucked up by a previously great NA support.
I agree with that.
But you know what? I think it's possible that Afro still has it in him. It's just a chance of, it's in the same vein of Huni. We know Huni can still be great, but whether that shows up is a day-to-day thing. Maybe with Afro, it's a season-to-season thing, and hopefully this season he turns it on.
Or team to team.
This team could be really good. I think I'm worried about most of the positions because like Froggen can be really good and miss. We've seen Grig be very consistent, but he had the wrist issues and all that, and we've seen him muck it up sometimes too.
So Halder said that Damonte is still on Dig's academy team, so it is possible.
Oh, did he end up there? Okay. Well, that's good. Yeah, and I can't believe he's not starting. The fact that the only starting NA mid
it's
laner
Tanner
is
time, baby.
the literal only NA resident or NA native starting mid laner is Golden Glue.
No
is
way.
ridiculous.
Bjergsen's got residency now, right?
No, native.
Oh, native. Okay.
Pobelter and Demonte are not starting.
Wow. Well,
Like-
Pobelter's...
Yeah, Pobelter will be starting jungle this week. But yeah, that's
crazy. I
crazy
didn't
considering
know
we
that.
have Demonte, who I think has been underrated
He's a
because of who he's been surrounded. I'm sorry, when you've got Piglet and Lyra on either side of you, you're not going to do great by comparison. But that's just me. This team could be really good. It could also very easily end up a hard 7.
hard 10.
Like, they could end up just outside of playoffs without much effort.
Okay, so if they come in 10, what do I win?
You haven't
Because of
we
y'all.
haven't talked about Golden Guardians or FlyQuest yet. Those,
Right.
those are
Next
our
two.
hard
So,
9 and 10.
yeah, because
I
those
have
are our
Flying
last
GGs
2 in
down there.
aggregate. Golden Guardians is our number 9, so let's move into those guys. I personally have them dead last.
I have them at 8.
I have them at A's as well.
All right, well, let's go ahead. I'm going to take over because we talked about your 2 number 10s just now. Let's get into mine. I mean, honestly, looking at this, Hanser, he's okay. I just don't think he's been great in a while. He's shown some flashes, but he still seems to be reluctant to ever play tanks even when they're good. And that causes issues. He's like, oh, I'm going to play this Aatrox and I'm going to hard carry, and then he gets, like, fucked on. Like, and he always does it into, like, Licorice. Like, no, you're not going to out-carry Licorice. He's friggin' Licorice, dude.
Who are we talking about right now?
Hanser.
Okay.
Yeah.
He had to pull in his boy.
Yeah,
from
well,
Cloud9.
but like if he wants to hard carry against Ruin, do it, because I think you can. I don't think Ruin's consistent enough to beat you in lane. But when it comes down to like playing against Impact, don't play the carry, because you know what? Impact's not going to give you any kills, and you're going to fall behind. Like, he seems to only want certain champions, and it doesn't help the team because of that. Closer, I don't know closer enough to make any judgment. Honestly, I think it's probably good they moved on from contracts, because while he had a hot start with Cloud9, he didn't seem to be improving on Golden Guardians, but I also think that, it's hard to improve when the whole team around you is not very good. Golden Glue, I'm glad to see him starting. I think Grayson is a good mid laner. He's finally getting a shot, and I hope it goes well. I'm just afraid this team's not any good, and he's going to struggle, because being the best player on a terrible team isn't great. And then you have FBI, and the weirdest thing on that whole team, you have Keith McBreathe.
Yeah, I'm not happy about that.
That's their second support in a row who's not a support. They just had Huhi swapping from mid to support, and he did pretty well. And hopefully Keith is a golden god of support, but I'm not counting on it.
I'm not counting on it either.
There's 2 other supports in NA who previously were AD carries. Can you guys name them?
Hold on. Give me a second.
Yeah.
Aframu
Yes.
and...
Oh, you should know the other one. He previously was an AD carry for Dignitas, and he's your favorite support. He's your favorite player in the league.
Core JJ?
Turtle.
Core JJ.
He was an ADC?
Core JJ was the last AD carry of Dignitas before they left the league, I believe. But yeah, so Core JJ and Aframu, 2 players who have been star supports, one of them still is, were AD carries. Maybe Keith will be the next one. I don't know. If he is, I'll be so happy for him and the org, but I'm not counting on it.
Support's such a
I don't feel like
job.
I look at all 5 of these positions, and none of these players are like, yep, I count on them to pop off. In fact, I can't count on any of them to be top half in their role.
You both have me regretting putting them at 8 right now, so thank you. Appreciate this.
I had them at 10, so I had to make my
I put
argument
them
why
at
they're
8 as
terrible.
well.
8? Okay, well,
Yeah.
he's making
I
me
made my
regret
argument
it.
for why I have them dead last. You guys tell me why I'm wrong slightly.
I got no reason, but I like Keith, and I want to see Keith do well just because I'm glad he's starting. I liked him as an ADC. Granted, he got help from his team to pop off in the couple of games he played on the main stage. So I'm hoping that he does at least decent enough in the support role. I don't know much about Golden Glue. I've only seen a couple games of him. I'm excited. Hanser, he can fucking carry. If it's, again, like you were saying, not up against Impact or Licorice. But he can, like...
Or possibly someday.
I remember
you know.
one of the games, he dove, like, into their frickin' base at, like, 10 minutes. No one else was around. He was just chasing the jungler to the ends of the earth. Fucking flashes into their base just to get the kill, and he's just waiting there. He's like...
Hashtag just Hanser things.
Just Hanser things. And you're right, though. It's not enough to, like, carry the entire team. And I'm not gonna lie, Closer's the name of my car, so I just like it because of his name.
Wait, what? Your car is named Closer?
Yes, it is.
Why
After
would...
the freaking Chainsmoker song. I'm such a basic bitch sometimes. Don't get me. Do not start with
Love
me
it.
on that. But yeah, so I was like, oh, I like that name. We're going to put them 8.
Yeah, alright, so let's hit up
That's
our
it.
aggregate final team, FlyQuest.
Well, wait,
You gave enough reasons.
I don't have anything else to say. I think that they
You're gonna
have
let
lost,
Chase talk hard about FlyQuest.
I think that
You have
they've
them at
lost
9?
everything. Well, I should have had FlyQuest at 10, but I hard threw 100 Thieves at 10.
I mean, we literally all had them at 9.
Really?
Yeah, I had them at 9, you had them at 9.
Nice.
We all hit our 10s already. Golden Guardians, Dignitas,
Yeah.
and 100 Thieves.
Okay.
FlyQuest, 9 across the board for us, so none of us have any faith in this team. It was just a matter of if we thought somebody else was a bigger dumpster fire.
Yeah.
So realistically, I should have put them 10. I like I said, I hard threw 100 Thieves at 10 because I fucking hate their brand. I don't even care.
But yeah,
Got your
I mean,
reasons.
I'm with
But FlyQuest, I think that they were the most disappointing showing
were.
of last year.
And so it's
I'm gonna say
super
the second
weird.
split.
Super weird fact, and I got this from Jat again. They've been in the league 3 seasons. It's hard to believe because they still haven't built like a brand for themselves. It's like you've been around for 3 years, 3 full years, and you're still probably the most forgettable team in the league. That sucks. But also, how many times do you think they've made playoffs in their 3 years?
Once.
3 times.
Are you serious?
They've half of their splits they've made playoffs. We saw them make semifinals just last year. Or was it first split last year? I believe they did
First
that.
split. Because summer
Yeah.
split, they bombed
Right.
hard.
And they keep doing that somehow. They'll make like an okay showing, and then they'll like dumpster fire it. And I think this team again, like Power of Evil, he can be up or down. Wild Turtle still like he's all right, but he hasn't shown up in a while. I'm excited about Ignar because Ignar,
Where'd he come from?
Europe. He's originally Korean, but I don't think he played in Korea last year. I could be wrong. I think he was benched for SKT maybe. But anyway, he showed up for EU at Worlds and had a great play there, or some great games there. Famous for his Fervor Leona. It was awesome. Santorin can be alright. Viper looked like he was improving last year, and then he looked like he fell off. I mean, maybe this team coalesces and they hit playoffs again. Honestly, it seems kind of likely somehow. Just because of the other teams we see that we're like,
really
this could
weird
go
way.
terribly.
Yeah.
But like all these players, I'm like, they seem like okay quantities. I just feel like once again we're looking at a team where they picked up nothing that I'm like, ooh, that's a nice like every other team besides like them and who was it I said Golden Guardians. Yeah, every other team besides these two, I feel like I look at I'm like, ooh, that player, at least one player. Neither of these teams, I'm like Power of Evil at least gets me a little excited.
Yeah. That's about it.
That's
I mean,
it.
I like Santorin as a jungler. He was the only one that got like the split jungler that wasn't the top 3 teams. It was fucking Santorin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He got third,
I think he's a
third
solid
team All-Pro.
jungler, but you can't jungle your way to a win.
Right. Quick thing here. Ignar was at FC Schalke last year, last split, and he was with the BBQ Olivers in Korea. the split before. Yeah,
awesome.
great team name. They're not around anymore as such anyway.
Sad.
But yeah, so that gets us through our top 10 guys. So let's do a quick dark horse thing. Out of all these teams, who did you rank low, but you know what? They might blow up and like be top 4.
EG.
I mean, I already said Immortals is mine. I have them at 5th, middle of the
I have
pack.
Immortals as mine as well at 8th.
Yeah.
EG, I ranked them high, so I couldn't pick them. I have them at 4.
So, am I not allowed to pick Immortals because I have them at
You have them at
5th, or-
5. It's. If you
I mean,
think
I
they could
put
be like
them
top
there
2,
because I thought that was where they were
Oh.
in, being the new team with like
Yeah.
all new people almost. Like,
It's-
Can I
It's
say
fine.
100 Thieves since I have them ranked 10th?
sure.
yes.
You can.
No, fuck them. Fuck them. Who do they play tomorrow? They play GG
GGs.
and EG. It's probably an easy day 1, maybe
Yeah.
somewhat.
No, I think like I ranked Evil Geniuses higher than I probably should have. Had I ranked them lower, they probably would have been my pick though.
Yeah.
All right, so here's the other thing I asked you guys beforehand to have prepared. Winners and losers of the off season. So let's start with losers so we can end on a bit of a higher note after that. Who do you think was the biggest loser of the offseason, whether it be team, player, the game in general, jungle, I don't know, whatever.
Sneaky.
Sneaky?
The biggest loser of the offseason? Yeah.
That's who I
mean-
have to. I have Sneaky or Golden Guardians.
I have not played since Well, okay, yes, that's not really true. I haven't played more than 2 games since the season, or since all the changes happened. I have no idea how to fucking play this game right now. And the 2 matches that I did play, they were Clash with junglers that were... They banned my main,
So the biggest loser of the offseason was Chase.
Yeah, basically. The jungle lost hard.
And Xmithy. I'm going to put Xmithy second.
Xmithy is the biggest... I mean,
Second.
He went back to a team he was previously on, and I think he's going to be the leader of this team, honestly.
I can see
So
that.
it could, though, if they end up bottom of the barrel, like, yeah, that'll be like the first time that's happened to him in forever.
But that'll be why he'll be.
Yeah.
If that happens after this split, he's the biggest loser for sure. Because I feel bad. He was so. They had such a good team for NA. I mean, just clean up your shit.
He's just gonna play some
Worlds.
Lee Sin. He's just gonna fly across the map and he's going to just kill things.
Yeah.
He's gonna do Xmithy things.
Yeah. All right, and then let's go more positive. Who's your biggest winner of the offseason?
I didn't. Did you ask this shit? I don't remember.
Yeah, I put it in chat.
Fucking didn't read.
One I had, and not the one I decided on. I thought about Evil Geniuses because as a team coming into the league, not taking over a roster, like Dignitas and Immortals were just changes of Clutch and Optic.
Mm-hmm.
Evil Geniuses came in. They didn't get Fox's roster. They just started from nothing.
Yeah.
And they picked up, like I said, 4 names people know, and a 5th one that some people know.
Mm-hmm.
But Immortals gutted Optic, like straight gutted.
Yeah. Well, no, they swapped out everything. Yes, you're right.
Every
Nobody
single person.
is the same on that team, period. But, I mean, Evil Geniuses, though, to come in and grab the MVP of the previous split, to grab a really good mid laner from Europe who wasn't their original choice. So they were actually making a play for, what's the name of the mid laner who won Worlds on FPX?
Oh, Duembe.
Oh, okay, no, it wasn't him. It was somebody else. It starts with a C. I don't remember. But they were making a play for, like, an international, like, top
Holder
4.
said Doinby as well.
Yeah, well, no, Doinby's the answer to the question I asked, but that's not who they were going after. I can't remember who it is now.
Duembe wouldn't.
They were going after, like, a Korean or Chinese mid laner who's considered, like, top 3, 4 in the world. And they were close to getting him, apparently.
Well, they can throw U.S. dollars at them. U.S. dollars is worth more than all of their shiny
the
rubles
Monte on
over
the
there.
loser list, yeah. That makes sense, too.
But yeah, like, they got, Jizuke, Bang, Zazels, Venskar, and Kuma. Like, that's pretty huge. Who I ended up picking as my biggest winner was actually 100 Thieves, specifically in them, as I said I was going to talk about more, getting Papa Smithy. Because he seems to have put together a winning roster. Not only that, he got back Cody-san and Meteos to bring back 2 players who were so absolutely disrespected by that organization means he has a lot of pull, which is why 100 Thieves is the winner here.
They should have gotten a lot of money in handies.
I'm sure
back.
they got lots of money. I said to you before we started, I think part of it was whatever amount Afromoon was being paid, they split that between Cody-san and Meteos, and were like, like the extra amount, and we're like, here you go. And they probably are paying more for their roster than they previously were. Like, honestly...
Well, they just opened up a brand new compound.
Well, a lot of the teams did. CLG did too. But, I mean, honestly, 100 Thieves is the winner here because the sole act of picking up Papa Smithy as your GM made players who probably would have never fucking even listened to a call from you come back to the team. Like, just picking him up cleaned their image up in the eyes of at least 2 top players in this league. And if they succeed, like, that's huge. I know Meteos specifically said in interviews that the reason he had several offers, and the reason he went to 100 Thieves is because of how much he respects Papa Smithy's insights as a caster, because Papa Smithy, he's done, like, VOD breakdowns and stuff, too, and he's like, I love the way he looks at the game, how he doesn't see it as, like, a solved game. It's still evolving, and you need to be like, well, these changes were made, this is what we should be preparing for these 2 fucking weeks. And guess what? In 2 weeks, that game doesn't matter anymore. It's a different game now. And that's the way Meteos looks at it, too, because he's really, really analytical about the game. He was the first one in the offseason to start being like, Yeah, I don't know why people aren't just hard farming Gromp and ganking all day.
Well,
Because it's the statistically best thing
That's why
to
they
do.
grabbed Meteos to like cast for a handful of games. Like, I mean, he knows his shit.
He's
Yeah, he
so
was on
smart.
the- yeah, he was
He's
on the cast
disgustingly
like
smart.
the fact that like he didn't get more caster time when he was benched on FlyQuest like is
Yeah.
absurd to me. But I'm sure
think
there's
they-
some like red tape they have to work
Yeah,
around.
well,
to
they
make that
probably
happen.
didn't want to just have like the Meteos show, like bring other. But yeah, I think 100 Thieves, in my opinion, just by picking up Papa Smithy, biggest winner of the off season. What do you guys think?
No, I can agree with that. I really hope I'm wrong, and I really hope that 100 Thieves gets their shit turned around. Because, like I said, I lost all respect for them last year. Like, I didn't have much respect for them going into last year.
Over 3 splits, I had no respect left.
Because, like, 3 splits ago is when the Cody Sun and the Meteos stuff happened. And then last year, dumpster fire all the way through. So if they can somehow, like, turn this around, like, I'm never going to buy any of their shit, because go fuck them. But,
No.
but if they somehow, like, do well, like, I do feel happy for Meteos and Cody Sun.
Absolutely. Do you have a different biggest winner? Or did I,
No,
I
I
make
mean,
such a good
I-
argument that everybody's like, yeah, no,
We-
definitely.
That, and I didn't really have an argument for anything because I didn't read that part of your text anyways.
all
So yeah, like my biggest loser is probably Sneaky, then second X-Smithy. Biggest winner, 100 Thieves, and then second CLG because they got Smoothie.
Because they got Smoothie. Honestly, I think the pickup of Song, Smoothie, and Crown,
Yeah.
that's a really big win for a team who did very well last split. Like, they came out of nowhere to be like, yo, we're fighting for a playoff bye.
Yeah.
And they ended up like 4th, 3rd. Like,
So close.
Yeah.
So close.
Like, they had a legitimate shot at Worlds.
They did.
But then in the playoffs and the gauntlet, they fell apart, unfortunately for them.
Yep.
All right, so let's move it on then. Let's talk real quick about our picks for next week.
Cool. We also got to do
Stock
our
market.
stock
Yes.
market, and then the game. So we're doing the games right now, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, next week, and actually, we'll just do, I say next week, and I mean tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Let's just do our picks for just, let's go all the way through, because now it's not just Saturday, Sunday, it's 4 games on Saturday, 4 on Sunday, and then 2 on Monday.
Oh, biggest fucking
I have
loser
them
of the
all right
split is fucking
Oh,
games
yeah.
are split over 3 goddamn days.
That's us.
That's the
fans,
most
the
fucking
watchers.
bullshit. Like,
We lose.
fuck up my entire life.
You know what? If I'm a casual viewer, I love the change. If I just watch like my team and a couple other games, I love the change. If I'm somebody who wants to watch all the games, I hate it because I just lost another like evening of my life. And like especially for us, like yeah.
This pissed me off more than anything.
I get it.
I
Yeah,
know.
because
I know.
for us it's struggling because now it's like, well, I either have to spend my Monday evening watching those 2 games, or I have to watch them Tuesday morning so we can continue doing the show. For those of you who don't know, shows are now going to be live on Tuesdays.
Yes.
So because we can't do it Monday while 2 matches are still happening.
Or late because it's just gonna piss us all off. You know.
Well, it'd be too late to do it
Yeah.
reasonably anyway. But so. I'm just gonna run down Golden Guardian or 100 Thieves. I don't even have like
Shit,
the
so
actual
far.
order. Can you pull up the actual order there so we
I
can
got
break
the
them down
games
by
right
day?
here.
Oh, do you have them broken by day?
Saturday, Sunday,
Beautiful.
Monday, yeah.
Please lay it on me.
All right,
Oh, I have it
Saturday,
here.
3
God damn
p.m.
it.
Cloud9 versus Team Liquid.
I have
CLG.
Cloud9 because
we got-
Pobelter's starting for Team Liquid in the jungle.
Fucking, I'm gonna pick Team Liquid just to
Yeah.
spite your ass.
No, I'm gonna go Cloud9 as well.
CLG
Liquid.
Dignitas is next. This one I struggled
CLG,
with, but
of
I'm
course.
picking CLG.
I'm picking CLG as well.
100 Thieves, Golden Guardians. I do have it here, I realized.
I'm gonna.
Okay, cool.
For as much as I hate 100 Thieves, I'm
picking
leaning
100
into 100
Thieves.
Thieves.
Yeah, I have a hard time picking Golden Guardians for anything until they show me
Yeah,
anything.
they'd have to win that one. To make
Immortals
the
Fly
difference.
Quest.
Immortals.
I'm going Immortals.
I'm actually going FlyQuest because I think Immortals going to take a little bit to get their team cohesiveness together.
Okay. That's
Like, it's
interesting.
probably the wrong pick, and maybe I'll change it before matches start tomorrow. Day 2, Dignitas Evil Geniuses.
Evil Geniuses.
You know
I
what?
haven't
Hold on.
actually picked this one yet because I want to
I
see what
know.
happens day 1. I'm going to
Oh,
say...
we can wait.
Yeah. I'm
Okay.
going to say Dignitas right now. I
Well,
don't
shit.
believe myself. Actually, Evil Geniuses. Fuck it. I don't believe
I'm gonna
myself.
say Evil Geniuses too, probably.
It's
TS
week 1. We have we have to have like a little learning curve week
yeah,
here.
absolutely. TSM Immortals.
So TSM.
Oh god.
I got TSM on this.
Yeah, that's gonna be a TSM,
Golden Guardians
obviously.
Cloud9. I think that one's pretty easy. Cloud9.
Cloud9.
Yeah.
FlyQuest CLG.
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 baby.
CLG. And then Monday night's going to be Evil Geniuses 100 Thieves.
Evil.
Yeah, that's a little hard. I think I'm actually going to 100 Thieves on that one right now.
Yeah.
I get two. Honestly, other thing I'm actually happy about the Mondays is my prediction rate should be way better on Monday nights than it is.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to keep that stat, and we can see like Saturday, Sunday, Monday how our predictions are.
I'm going to lean into Evil Geniuses on
into
that one.
And then TSM, I'm still picking TSM because once again, Pobelter will be starting the jungle.
I'm picking
TSM is-
TL.
You know, I gotta say,
I mean, it depends. I can change, obviously, but
Yeah, no, absolutely,
I'm hard up for TL. So.
oh, you got a hard on for TL? All right. So those of you who don't know, we are playing the stock market game.
Mm-hmm.
So I spent forever trying to find like the stats anywhere. Could not do it. I tweeted out from my account and then retweeted it with added comments and more ats from the YetiGamer account at LOL's esports stats. And I also looked at their page, like, nobody had mentioned it. They've never posted before. And I got a response to both of those saying, oh, yeah, we're going to do that. Because, like, when I was like, hey, we don't have Fantasy LCS. Could we have those numbers so we can play at home with our friends? So I'm pretty confident I'm the sole reason they are posting those,
That's
like,
awesome.
a day
Fuck
beforehand.
yes.
Because I'm like, 15 minutes before matches start is not enough to play it with your friends.
No.
Yeah.
No.
So yeah, they tweeted them out today. This was on like Wednesday or Tuesday that I tweeted them, and they responded. I think it was Tuesday night for my tweet, Wednesday morning for the Yeti tweet. But yeah, so we have those. We three have picked our stocks. If you guys, our listeners, viewers, want to play with us, send yours in either to the YetiGamer Twitter or to us on Discord in the League of Loggers conversation, chat, log, whatever you want to call it. Chat room, I guess.
It's the League of Legends chat, but yes.
Yeah, it's League of Legends. It says League of Legends.
You said League of Loggers.
Oh, I'm sorry. League of Legends chat, yes. But the rules of it, if you don't know, each team is assigned a value that is based off of the 5 players on their team. Each have an elo. As they beat or lose to other teams, also depending on how high or low that team's ranked or rated value-wise, they go up and down. It's on a bi-weekly basis. So you are buying stocks for the next 4 games. For the next 2 weeks, you have $5,000 to start. Whatever you don't spend, you just hold on to in your pocket. And then after 2 weeks, you get back what you made or lost, your new amount off your stocks, and you get to reinvest. So we're going to do this every 2 weeks. Get in with us. I'll keep track of everyone's in our big old spreadsheet. So if you send yours to us, we're going to get you in. If you start any later than, if you start on week 3, I'll either give you 5,000, or if generally people are lower than 5,000, I'll give you the average amount people have. So
Yeah.
Because I don't
go with that.
Yeah, okay, I'll do. Well, I don't want to give them. I guess I don't know. We'll see. Because if the average is like way higher, I don't want to like reward you for starting late. So. If the average is lower than 5,000, I'll give you the average. If it's higher than 5,000, I'll give you 5,000. So get in early. Anyway, so our picks. I bought 2 stocks. Oh, in the order, the value of stocks is TL at the top, Cloud9, TSM, CLG, Evil Geniuses, Dignitas, Immortals, Golden Guardians, 100 Thieves, and FlyQuest. I took 2 stocks of each Cloud9 and TSM, 4 of way down there with 100 Thieves, and 1 little penny stock in Immortals. Heather grabbed 3 up top with TL.
And I'm real worried about this because of the Pobelter thing.
Yeah.
But I
told you
on
so you
TL.
could change it.
He did tell me. I've had fair warning. If I bitch about it, it's just a bitch.
So yeah, 3 stocks in TL for you, 2 into CLG, some faith there, 2 into Immortals, and 2 into 100 Thieves. So you're with me on Immortals and 100 Thieves.
Yep.
And then Chase spread in his shot. He went diversifying that portfolio. Chase, what do you got there?
I've got 1 for TL. I've got 2 for Cloud9. I've got 1 for TSM, 1 for CLG, 1 for Evil Geniuses, 2 for Dig, and 1 for GG's.
1 for GG's. Hold on, I gotta put a 9 in the CLG slot. See how much that costs, because that's where we're getting one from the chat here.
9 for CLG.
Yeah, how much would that total out to?
4.
He can do it. All right.
Ooh, who's gonna do it?
We got
Dusty?
Halder buying 9 in for CLG. Halder, I'm taking that down. I'm going to write it down right now.
Yes, write down Slippy's too if Slippy does it.
I think he's going to take a little time on it. You do need to get those to me before matches start tomorrow, guys. I'm going to put it in our chats and tweet it out so everybody has a little more time. Any last topics we want to talk about?
Yes, Game of the Week and Bubble Wrap Midget Rap.
Bubble Wrap Midget Wrestling match.
There you go.
God, I came up with it on the spot and it's stuck. I love it.
I'm thinking Dig versus EG. That's my pick for that one.
For
the
Bubble Wrapped?
Yeah.
Oh god.
Dig versus EG.
Are you high?
Not right now.
Nah.
Why
There's
not?
There's not a lot of bad ones, to be fair. Because I would go, who are Golden Guardians and FlyQuest playing? But, I mean, FlyQuest Immortals, maybe?
100 Thieves versus GG's, maybe.
I expect them to be good, though. I think Fly Immortals would be my pick. I think it's hard week 1. I don't think there's any garbage team matchups, also because we don't know who's going to be garbage necessarily.
Yeah, I don't have any statistics to back this up.
I think anyone's call on what it is as good as anyone else's.
I think based on personal feelings, 100 Thieves versus Golden Guardians, but that's a stretch knowing that their team's actually got a pretty decent roster.
Yeah. Okay, game of the week. Normally you would have said it's Cloud9 TL or TLTSM, which are by no randomness the first and final game of this week. But with Pole Belter in the jungle, no Broxa, who's our game of the week instead?
I still think it's C9 versus TL.
You think even with Broxa not in?
Yeah.
Oh man. Who does CLG play? Dignitas and okay, it's not that.
This is a hard week 1
Is this
question.
a weird week 1 question? But I wanted to do this specifically because it was hard.
This is hard.
I'm gonna. Fuck, I don't know.
It might still be C9TL. I mean, also partly because it is opening game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's some excitement behind that game, regardless.
I'm putting that one game
but
of the
yeah,
week for me.
Hopefully we'll be able to pick better game of the weeks than Bubble Wrap Midget Wrestling matches.
Which bubble wrap do you want to do?
I don't know.
I don't want to do any of them. They're
I
all
think they
fucking
all
garbage.
count.
All right. Well, then we won't pick one. Fuck it. All right.
All
But
right.
fuck it.
But fuck it.
And on that note, honestly, yeah, no, actually, that's all we got today. We're gonna try and keep these episodes pretty succinct, but we'll see, just depending on how the season goes, guys. But thank you for joining us for episode 1 of season 4.
Thanks.
Oh, you got something? Oh, you're just doing episode 1, yeah. But yeah, thanks for joining us. We will be, like I said, we're going to be Tuesday nights here on Twitch. I'll be posting them to YouTube within a couple days of that. Try to get them out no later than Friday. I mean, obviously no later than Friday. I'm going to shoot for Thursdays. And expect to see us start posting these up as podcasts, too, if you're of the listening variety. I'm going to try and get them all over the place. Stitcher, SoundCloud. Well, not maybe SoundCloud, but like Podcast Addict, Spotify, iTunes. I'm going to work on that. So... yeah, until then, if you want to play the stock market game, that'll be in the Discord and on Twitter shortly, so you can get in on that. Otherwise, thanks for joining us, guys, and we'll see you on Tuesday. Enjoy the matches.